amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed.
Because on earth, God will only do what he must do through men. In Sena Climes, the Minister of Transportation, for example, would have resigned after the train hijack that took place in Kaduna. But after 1 full month, and the captives being held between Rijana and Kaduna town, our Minister of Transport had bought form for 100 million to become Nigerian president. In a sound environment, the Minister of Education should have resigned because our universities have been closed down for 3 months plus, and no end in sight. But our own junior Minister of Education has bought form for 100 million to become president as a sign of promotion for a job well done. In the Senate line, the sitting Senate president should be impeached for approving loans and enslaving future generations of resources collected and unaccounted for. But our own Senate president has also bought a form for 100 million to move on. In the Senate line, the CBN governor, under whose regime the value of the naira plummeted from 150 naira to $1 to over 600 naira to $1, should have resigned because of incompetence. But himself too sponsored people behind and at the back door to buy him a form for 100 million naira to become Nigerian president. In the Senate line, the man who plundered Lagos, whose wife is a serving senator, whose son is being prepared to become a governor, whose daughter is in charge of all the markets in Lagos, who controls all the internally generated revenue of the entire state, the man who watched our young people during the NSAS massacre, simply asking for good governance, and then to end the police brutality, that man should have been cooling in EFCC custody. But the same person went to buy a form for 100 million and bribe delegates with over $5,000 each to become a leading candidate in a party. In the Senate climb, a man who was vice president for 8 years and head of the privatization and the commercialization of all public utilities, cornered all our common patrimony and sold off NEPA from bad to worse. A man whose principal, Obasanjo, said this. He said, a man that I know very well. And he said, it will be a sin against God and against man to let him rule over Nigeria. He too has also bought a form to become Nigerian next president so that CBN would become his vote. And this man bought delegates with over $10,000 each. So easy for Nigerians to forget. So easy for Nigerians to become a senior. Right before their eyes, candidates of competence and character were presented, but delegates sold the future of their descendants for a morsel of bread. Amazingly, we're living in a nation that 11-year-olds are now tricking their girlfriends with whom they should be solving mathematics and geography lessons to dark corners for ritual sacrifices. Your kids cannot just go playing with friends now. You're not sure their head will return on their neck. People going for wedding end up being beheaded and the government is helpless. But again and again, we understood by books the pending prophecies by Paul Elton and Lance Lambert that a day and a time is coming that Nigeria shall be known as the most corrupt nation, the most terrible nation to inhabit. But the season and the time is coming.
And perhaps also we need to join these to his response. A lot of conversations around the details as published by INEC on the credentials and the bio that has been released by your candidate to INEC, submitted to INEC, which generated a lot of controversies over the weekend as to his educational background beyond the university in Chicago that he listed to have attended, and whether or not the school in Aroloya, or whether or not he attended some of these schools. Those who attended around the same time, someone like Mr. Aribi Salah, who came, look, if he was there as a claim, he was also at that period of time, he was in that same school. He never knew who Bola Tinubu was. Can you respond to some of these issues? There are people who are saying, look, anybody who will lead this country, we should not be having a conversation of whether they went to school, the kind of school they went to. This thing should be a basic, a fundamental issue.
Well, you see, we've gone through this in a very, very long time. I mean, Ashwaji Tinubu was a governor in Lagos, two-term governor. These issues have come up. What haven't they said about Tinubu? And what hasn't he proved to the people that there is not telling the truth? And look, that's the beauty of democracy. If anybody feels strongly that our candidate has no qualification to be president, he's entitled to go and challenge that in court. But you see, when we start talking about Twitter, people, following a candidate and so on, we don't do this thing on the pages of Twitter or Twitter handle. We do these things by the people and with the people. And you see, it's very good when Mr. Pedro was talking about his candidate, talking about Atiku Abubakar. I want to remind him that Atiku Abubakar ran to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he was looking for sanctuary at one time. It was Bola Ahmed Tinubu that gave him, platform to run for an election. And when Abdul my younger brother, spoke about Konkoso, and I'm sure all he said about Konkoso, he meant Ashwaju, because he left Ashwaju's movement, not because of Ashwaju, not because Ashwaju is not competent, but because of his local issues at the Kano, where they have their local issues. So when we come about talking about the candidates, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is because of what he did, the sacrifice he did for this country, that my brother Pedro, my brother Jiblon, are talking about democracy today. Bola Ahmed Tinubu sacrificed his life to ensure that democracy thrives in this country, to ensure that there is multi-party democracy in this country. And that's why I'm talking about Muslim, Christian. And remember, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's wife is a pastor in a church today. And you see, people try to bring religion just because they see that we have a candidate that nobody can beat. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I am telling you, we are waiting for the day of election to come. Nobody. And remember, we still have President Muhammadu Buhari as the most popular northern, politician. And he's there. And I assure you, President Muhammadu Buhari will work for the success of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And then Bola Ahmed Tinubu has success and acceptance across the country as well. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, remember what he has done in this country, how he has promoted people. Like the governor of my state, Jigawa State, was a candidate of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu promoted him. So that's the deep northern part of this country, northwestern part of this country. So if you look at from each Edo state where Pedro comes from, remember the former governor, J. Adams Oshomole, was also a part of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Where in this country will he go and not find his footsteps? So when people start talking about his education qualification, he cannot do it and do that. Look, we challenge anybody not come to talk on the pages of newspapers or on television shows. Go to court. Prove the fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not have the qualification he has. But remember, I said remember, let them not waste their time, because you could see that these things have come to pass. He has been a governor twice. He has been a senator in this country. And when these matters come up, they just die like that. And I assure the people of this country that with Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president, you will see the success in Lagos, and all of us, all Nigerians, are proud of Lagos State. All Nigerians are proud of the human capital that Bola Ahmed Tinubu invested in the people, from the vice president of this country to Fowler of the people, to ministers, governors, senators, members, House of Reps, State Assembly, everywhere, businesses that Bola.
There are a lot of people who have been questioning, arguing over the issue of the running mate of the APC. You heard from the candidate there who says, I'm still in search. And these are generated criticism of your party and the candidate over the choice or who should be the candidate. And in fact, people are already making the insinuation whether a Muslim ticket will be fitting for the kind of situation that we are in this country right now.
Yes, good evening, Nigeria, good evening, viewers and everyone. Well, the choice of the vice presidential candidate of our party, lies with our candidate, the party, the stakeholders, and we're all consulted. But I assure you that we're going to come up with a candidate who will fit the bill, who will be acceptable to Nigerians. And I also assure you that by the time the name is out, everybody will believe and be convinced that, yes, we've made the right choice. So just give us a little time. We're going to come out with it soon.
And the question is, I've heard a few people say that why is it difficult for your party to discover, or your candidate to identify a running mate if he's indeed prepared for this race?
Well, it is not difficult, but just the Nigerian complexities. You understand, so many people are talking about Muslim, Christian, and so on, forgetting the fact that no matter the diversity in this country, you need to also win an election before you could start doing things. So we are consulting. We are looking at Muslim ticket. Yes, it's on the card. We're also looking at Muslim Christian ticket. But to us, as a people, and as a party, and as our presidential candidate, look, let me put this question to whole Nigerians. Are the Muslims in this country today better off with President Buhari as president, or the other way around? So you see, it's not about religion. It's not about who you are or where you come from, but what the people will get. So if our party or our candidate comes up with a Muslim candidate, so be it. We're going to make sure we win the election. Simple, that's it. And if in the wisdom of our candidate, he brings a Christian candidate, we are also going to make sure we win the election. Because, as I said, it is not about the religion. It's not about where you come from, but competence. Because, look, when you go to the market, nobody will ask you whether you're a Muslim or you're a Christian. When armed robbers come to you, they don't ask where you come from. When kidnappers come to you, they don't ask where you come from. So let's look at ourselves as competent Nigerians. Whoever is competent, let's the party bring it out. And I assure you it's going to come out soonest. And whoever comes will work for the person and make sure we win.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.